Welcome back to my channel for a short Leica episode. And this episode is all about the new Leica Q3 Monochrom. And it's tradition on my channel that if I have a new camera in my hands, it's still at a point in time when I'm filming this, some days to go until the official announcement by Leica, I want to test the camera out in the field, in low light, in the dark, at nighttime. And what I normally do is I grab the camera, I grab a tripod, and I drive somewhere in the greater Zurich area to a place where I think I can take some nice exposures, and then I do long exposures. With this camera, I want to do it differently this time, and I hope you like it. The rules of engagement are the following. I will shoot all images somewhere between f5.6 and f8, so that we get a reasonable depth of field if I'm shooting downtown Zurich. I will let the ISO freely float, and if you go into the menu here, we have here the ISO settings, and in the ISO settings, I'm on auto ISO, and for the auto ISO settings, I let ISO go to the maximum possible on this camera, namely 200,000. And I'm pretty sure if I take these shots, the camera will use that opportunity and drive ISO up to 200K. So that's what I want to do. I will stay on shutter speed automatic here, so shoot aperture priority on the camera, and I will also go for autofocus, and will just walk through Zurich downtown, no tripod in my backpack, and just shoot what interests me. And in this way, I will find out how the camera is performing at very high ISO values, and I'm pretty sure in some areas of Zurich, we will have even at 200K ISO underexposure, so we can also have a first indication about the dynamic range of that camera. So what I want to do is I grab the camera, I hop in the car, I go downtown, and when I'm downtown, I will shoot. And I will also let you live experience what I'm going to do here, because I already prepared my Atomos Ninja V, and I will mount this on the hot shoe. I'm going to show this to you in a moment. And so you will see live where I'm shooting, how dark the scene is, and later in post-processing, when Lightroom got its magic done, we see what I could make out of these images at super high ISO values. And it's very simple to mount an Atomos Ninja V on the Leica Q3. You just plug it in the hot shoe. You make sure it sits firmly and the screw sits firmly so it doesn't drop off. That looks good actually to me. Then we have here a micro HDMI port, and we just have to connect the Atomos Ninja V with that port. Very simple. Here we go. Now it sits, and if I now switch on the Ninja V, it should actually give me a live view. It will not show me the overlays I have here, my shooting parameters. That's just not the way Leica wired this up. Leica wired this up purely as a high quality video recording port here. So you can use external recording devices, but you will not see the live view with the overlays in the same way as you see it if you wire up the Atomos Ninja V here with a Nikon C8, for instance, or Sony Alpha 1 Mark II. That's not the way you see it here. But we should see a live view, and if I screen record this, you should actually have good impressions what is in front of the camera and how dark it really is. So let's switch this on, and let's see if it connects with the camera. Let's, by the way, focus. And yes, you see, you get a nice live view here. You don't get the overlays, the bars at the top and the bottom. And you don't see a focus field, but you see what's going on in front of the camera. And I will record short video snippets where I'm shooting, and right after the recording, you will get the image, and then later we look into them in Lightroom. How does that sound? If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, support my work. Many thanks for that. And now let's hop in the car. Let's try to find a parking lot downtown in Zurich. And let's start to walk with the camera, something I actually really enjoy. All right, I hope you enjoyed joining me live in this shooting. I think if I have the opportunity to mount the Atomos Ninja V so you see live the surrounding where I'm shooting and then see the image, that might be helpful to get an even better impression and feeling how it is to shoot this new Q3 Monochrome. And I mean, to be quite frank, it's really fun shooting that camera. Autofocus works without any flaws, the same way of what I'm used to from the other Q3 cameras. And I will now pick a few of these images which you saw in the clip I played and just provide a few more comments. Want to start with this one here. And this is kind of almost, I would call it the standard ISO for the Leica Q3 Monochrome, ISO of 25,000, f5.6 aperture, which is kind of the sweet spot for this Leica Summilux lens, 1/30 and then of course some post-processing applied. And if you look into that, this is a very clean, very clear image. You see here people walking on the street, sitting here at the riverside. You see one of the very big churches in Zurich here. And it is an image which is good, despite the fact that 25,000 for many cameras already would constitute a significant challenge. Not so for the Leica Q3 Monochrome. And you can also go to much higher ISO values. So here's an ISO of 100,000, for instance. Of course, noise reduction applied. But if I do not crop in, if I want to have that image for social media or for a magazine, it actually looks really, really good for an insanely high ISO of 100,000. And of course, if I crop in, you see how the noise reduction kicked in, but you still get a lot of details, a lot of contrast and, you know, things in the scene which you can discover. Same applies, by the way, here. That's an ISO of 200,000. And from a distance, this image looks good. If you crop in, of course, it becomes wishy-washy based on the noise reduction, but from a distance, for a magazine, for instance, it's usable. And of course, I'm not keen in using a camera at an ISO of 200,000. I would rather place my camera here on a tripod, but if you don't have it, if the scene is very dark as it was here, and you saw this in my live shooting before, and you have no other option, you can still take an image and that image will reveal to the observer and the one who looks at it what's going on in the scene. And that is pretty cool. Here an ISO of 64,000. And again, noise reduction applied, but look at the level of detail here. Look at these stickers here or people sitting here in the park. Look at this image. I mean, 64,000 ISO. Just insane how the camera handles these type of super high ISO values. Let me see what else I want to show. This is 25,000 ISO again. Very nice in terms of details, contrast, micro contrast, what you get here. This is a scene you also saw in the live shooting, and 20,000 ISO is just a piece of cake for the Leica Q3 Monochrome. Look at the level of detail in the scene here. By the way, it's always fun when you shoot in the streets, what you discover later. Look at this guy here. He mounted his shoes on the backpack, and despite the cold weather, he was walking with his naked feet down Rennweg here, which is the name of this particular street. But also look at the details, the number plate here of the car, what you see on the shops on the side of the street and all of that. Very nice images. And here I was doing a panorama shooting. You saw that in the live clip. 3 images, a lot of overlap, accordingly a much higher resolution. And also here, this is good. Let Lightroom update this. Now we are there. A very sharp, very clean, very good image. 25,000 ISO, no complaints from my side. What else do we have here? Hotel Storchen, 25,000 ISO again. Look at this. Look at the details this camera is providing. And noise reduction anyway in Lightroom, but also with AI software like in Topaz, for instance, is something that is no longer a big problem. And 25,000 ISO you can almost consider, as I said at the beginning of my tour through sample images, the standard ISO for this camera here. Look here, people sitting, enjoying the restaurant. Look at this bike here, parked next to the river. Very nice police car here. This is an ISO of 12,500. Here's the number plate of the police. But also if you look into the shopping windows here, despite the fact that this is a bit overblown, of course, inside the shop because of too much light around, you see here these household devices. You know, this is a mixer here. And generally, a lot of these images were underexposed before post-processing. And my first impressions are that the dynamic range of this camera is super, super high in the same way as we know it from a bunch of generations of Leica monochrome sensors in the past. Storchengasse here, look at that. Look at the detail on the walls. Very nice. I think this is fully convincing. This was a funny situation. I was shooting with my Leica Q3 Monochrom and that massive Atomos Ninja V mounted on it, and I passed by, stopped, took the shot, and then the lady saw it and she smiled and she kind of liked that I took that photo of the MCM store here. But look at the level of detail also here on the shelves in the store. Very nice. I think I stop here. Here another image from a famous restaurant very close to Paradeplatz, Restaurant Bärengasse. Very nice image, nothing to complain. Even here, someone recognizable sitting close to the window. And I was fully happy after my shooting. I like these images. I will use the Q3 Monochrom on continuous basis. I think black and white is beautiful, but also the capabilities you get if a color filter is removed, and the play between light, shadow, but also the powerful capability to deal with super high ISO values, the very strong dynamic range. For me, this is a winner. If you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.